ministry full-time for 15 years. And at this time, I'm writing full-time, and I have a sense to dedicate the rest of my life at this point, you can see it, to write for women. To me, verse or poetry is like atomic ideas, and as inspiration, I feel that poetry is a perfect, positive message for the 21st century. I'd like to read you just something that Diane Sawyer said in Oprah magazine. I like to carry a small book of poetry in my purse at all times to transform the frustration of gridlock or late lunch partners into a sanctuary. So I was hoping today that when I start to read my poetry, Tom's going to dim the lights a little bit, that you'll get into a meditative mood with me. I'm sure that we're all poets at heart, we're all writers for sure, because we're all communicators. My poetry happens to spring from a deep conviction that I have that principally life is good, and that with a little bit of soul searching, we can have a good life. And another element of my poetry is the sensual and the spiritual. I know they're at war with each other so often in our minds and in our hearts. I hope at times that my poetry can unite them into a unique blend. My poetry is non-rhyming. Some of it is literary. Most of it is, they are messages and stories. This poem came about from a long yearning to know how to listen. And in all truth, maybe if we can change ideas around in all truth, I think that we can see that it has a universal message for us. But this poem really was an outcome of a transformation in my life. It has a title, and it has one line to it. Learned to listen. The day I knew how to respond with not a word passing between. I am light energy, waves incept heart, prism into id, dazzling, bursting, blazing. Fire kindles first night sky I see. Mother star winks celestial bliss. Father mind, transparent good, thoughts reflecting, search to eye. Meta laser, truth heals within. There is now, I am free. This poem was inspired by a deep yearning to let go after a tragic event in my personal life. And then it became a prayer for all mankind that I wrote to all my friends and family during the so-called millennium at the end of 1999. Dearest God, moments ago we were beggars, more. Now that seems centuries old. Then we felt we knew it all. Take. Now that seems foolish beyond belief. Knowing angel thoughts are humble part. Love. Now we relish your world, ever new, ever awakening your children. Candle burning. This woman stealing into the night to write. Her soul needs to flush itself, that the morn bear less burden than the night. She peers at beads of bracelets on her wrist as she writes, envisioning the chains on ancients, women scribes before her, committed to death for voicing a smidgen of their soul. Through quills scratching their heart's desire to be equal with men. not hating them, but demanding like freedom, to empty, to enjoy that which men take for granted. Let her be bold expression, self-government, originality, women's right to choose her own husband, no less her lovers, the right to minister at the altar, no less to worship in the temple, the right to scream disapproval if upon her bed a robe spots her sheets. What kind of God created a lion's share of women weaker and men without grace? It was not the mother of love, rather the invention of men's greed. I pray as my candle flickers the light from the last night of the 20th century, may someday the reflective light of truth, as well birthing women intelligently with expectancy of heroic womanhood as in manhood, be welcomed. Women balanced in a listening world, praising her solar strength, not selved as in some gender weakness. In this light, the millennium man will be born unshackled to grow distinguished by love. Midst the change. I walked through the mist. It blanketed the shoreline. Egret sounds came from where they were not. I thought about life changing without my consent, demanding my response, beckoning a decision, creating chaos, ordering me in a way I'm not familiar, nor see as innate. Through the early morn, trying to chase down the fear, I walked with the mist. My destination, the pier. I knew I needed to walk that far alone. More like at least that was in my reach. I had walked with the mist from the pier. I saw it blanketing the shoreline. Egret sounds came from where they were not. Anxiety. I felt it as old landmarks were invisible. No distance, no vision. More fear in every vein. In every direction I turned, there was nothing I knew. When the mist hugged my face, I thought again. Familiarity is there when the mist dissipates. While my head was on my pillow, I found no rest. Consoling nature wraps our psyche sanely. On my walk home, the mist dissipated. Egret sounds came from where they were. These two poems are poems of yearning and realizations of true love. And the sensuality is definitely there in the second one that I'll read to you. I just want. When I give my love, I just want to know that I'll breathe again. Just feel again the things my spirit knew on its own. When I pray that prayer of love, I just want to see that it's not out there, somewhere in a freeze frame in another's mind. Fast forward. When I receive an invitation to dine with your heart, I just want to hear your confirmation beyond my acceptance, so that I feel sure that we moved beyond ABC to us, US. Fluorescent love. Hours of ecstasy, though thought to have climaxed, existed yet in an aura, an unfamiliar candescence, plugged in the genius of arrows, or sweet discovery being through touching fingers, as velvet cloaked skin, as silk huggies, undies huggy, as pink sunset melts, as air licenses our life. Rewind. The energy lasting in us swept through my fingers, in turn, deftly as feathers, my fingers in slow motion traveled, piano playing your face, down around your Adam's apple, enjoying your well-defined arms, to the hills and valleys of your finger curves, to the spot just below your fingernails, lingering. Your heart sizzles, mine melts. Speaking satin, our fingertips delight, your prince and my prince wed. Mind, here with thoughts of one, we reflect blue light, our fluorescent